Hello.
Ooh,
Hello, it's us.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Greetings.
It's us? Question
let's
mark.
go.
Hi. I see lines doing things. Do we got audio? How's the audio?
I see fields of green.
Audio.
Some filker should do like a mashup of that song and Kermit doing "It's Not Easy Being Green."
Not easy being fields of green.
Yep. Excellent. Audio has been conformed.
Audio is here.
Thank you very much. It is
You can hear my
time.
very squeaky birds.
It is time for birds to squeak at you, which is how you know that it's trash
It's
hero.
trash time.
Let me read the thing what I usually read. Hi there, internet friends and webcomic fans. It's your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist welcoming you to another episode of Trash Heroes, the Dungeons & Dragons stream, where we recount the epic adventures of this wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes.
Buddy.
Our players, as always, are this lovely and talented group of internet artists, cartoonists, makers of various things. Many of those things are things that you can buy, or arts that you can go and check out and support the work of. Please do so by following the various links and social media connections that you will see in the description below or the upper right-hand side of your screen. Remember to feed your local artists. Just make sure you do so without extending a hand into the cage because they do bite.
Only if you ask nicely.
Indeed.
Oh my god. I'll tell the story later.
You know Uncle Randy's going to have a story about biting when it comes to fans.
Not fans, but childhood field trip to the zoo. One of my friends shoved his hand in the gibbon cage.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's
no.
a good idea. Yeah.
You do not want a primate bite.
He did not get one. He got his hand yanked.
Yep.
And
So bad.
my mom was chaperoning, grabbed his arm, yanked his arm out. So the gibbon reached out at him. My mom slapped the gibbon's hand. And I've never seen an animal look more horrified and offended.
Just offended. How dare you, sir? Or madam. Yeah, any story that contains the phrase "shoved his hand into" is probably not a story that you should take lightly. So with that said,
Anyway,
let's meet the
with that
characters.
wisdom.
Speaking of which, let's meet the characters. First up, it is the keeper of the vermin and protector of the trash heap, Fetid Quaggle.
That's me. Hi.
Next up, we have the larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar, Oogna Sugar Tusks.
Yeah, it's bone crushing time.
And next up is the trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Dariels.
Sup, sluts.
And there's the wild magic streaming sensation that is Morgan the Satyr.
I'm here, and I'm a little disappointed the DM did not let me sacrifice gimp blood for sorcery points.
Well, we'll see. There might be
Yes.
other mechanics at
The
play.
night is still young.
And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
A horrifying catchphrase.
Excellent.
So, when we last left our heroes, the game began in the lair of the Frostworm of the North after the defeat of the Devourer that was holding it captive. The party healed this unconscious dragon, who was appearing to be an ageless, white-haired maiden. Fetid noted that the treasure hoard seems to have been picked over by the dark wizard Graculus. Meanwhile, Copernicus discovered some runes engraved all around the cavern in a huge ring, and took some notes, realizing that this was a ritual in progress that Graculus was working on, based on the power source of the dragon itself. And he was wishing for access to his library so he could research this, and therefore took some extensive notes. While the rest of the party, rather than waiting around for the worm to awaken and blame you guys, left a note that blamed the Dark Wizard instead, and then fled, with Pernie grabbing a handful of magic items on the way out that had been revealed deeper in the hoard from all of the undead that were destroyed. making your way back to the Chillwinds camp, the party heard the fury of the dragon unleashed in the storms around, and saw her fly south towards the encampment of the ice barbarians. Woohoo! And then, of course, got a good night's sleep and identified the various magic items and removed Oogna's curse that had been discovered. The team then looked into the bag of holding that they had found and discovered some treasure, and particularly some crystal vials, which the party never actually got around to identifying last game.
Forgot about those.
Yeah, we got distracted. And of course, Fetid investigated the inside of a bag of holding and found it quite awful and creepy. Tromlin prayed with the Tome of Cleric's knowledge that had been found in the Dragon's Lair, gained some additional religious powers, but also found that his features were temporarily, hopefully, transformed in the vision of the of Astilabor, the dragon goddess. So he now has shining gold horns and topaz gem-like scales on his exposed skin.
I have a picture of that somewhere. I'm gonna find it and I'm
Yes,
gonna put it
and
live.
Alina drew it. Pernie became ill with demon fever contracted from the undead during the fight, but Tromlin was able to heal him. And with some luck, he managed to only lose one permanent hit point. The Chillwinds tribe packed up camp and left to avoid the dragon's wrath, and the party left a big towards the north where Gracchus lives, and then immediately went to the south to Ravenfall, traveling with Oogna polymorphed into a dire moose and the others riding on her back.
Love a dire moose.
Which allowed you to make that journey in a single night, or within the single day and night. Copernicus summoned Ozymandias, or Ozymandias, I'll try and say it correctly, the Hellhound, and did the ritual to bind him using the scroll that was found in the Dragon's Cave, which binds Ollie to this plane for a year and a day, and the team, which gives Fetid a mount, and the team snuck into the city through the Quaggle tunnels. There, discovering a number of things. The Lady Pudenza was not replying to messages, and her fate is unknown. The group found the goblin Trit Resnoir, from whom they learned that the state of things in Ravenfall were rather dire. The Raven cult Weaselkin, known as the Warriors of Toad, have been fighting for control of the sewers, and the tunnels under the Citadel, including the area where the unconscious Nightshade had been hidden. Brenda the Goblin and Butch Urk, the Dwarven Barbarian, were poisoned and unconscious, and Tromlin revived them, the party learning from Butch and from Filth, the pseudo-dragon, Fetid's little familiar who came flitting back, what had happened to Nightshade, specifically that a bunch of the Raven cultists had overcome the guards, and then Eliphas Darkmoor himself had come in with his cronies, and they had captured and removed the unconscious Nightshade. That's where we ended the game. But you did also learn that the city guard is now controlled by the Raven cult through their puppet, the Baron Gregory, and that the Quaggles had found the locations of the 4 remaining watchtowers where the magic stones had been set up for the ritual to incapacitate Nightshade. You also are wondering about the Eloxodon merchants who seem to have fled the city, and the fates of Copernicus's family members, Oogna's pit fighter friends, Sir Godfrey, and of course Nightshade are all unknown. And that was where we left
All
things.
of that's a problem. That's all
Everything's
a
going
problem.
great.
And so
Nothing in that
Oogna,
is
you've
great.
been re-invited. You've been reunited with Trey.
At least I have Trey.
the
Trey's
owlbear.
here.
He has
And
grown
and we've got Fetid's
considerably.
Filth as well.
Yeah, and Fetid is like a full-on like rangery ranger now, between the swarm
Yeah.
and Filth, the familiar, and a hellhound mount.
Walking fucking petting zoo over here.
Absolutely. So we don't know where any of the
Standard
important NPCs
ranger.
are, but we do have our animal companions. So it's, not a terrible day.
Why
I'm gonna call
don't
that a
I
win.
have a gimp? Everyone else gets to have their little companions.
You need a companion.
Maybe we can get Pernie to conjure you like a blood gimp.
Yeah, Pernie has his bucket.
Yeah. His wife
Here
is
I
an
am.
animal companion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here I am
Well,
alone.
respect.
No gimp to sacrifice for sorcery points.
You've got your reflection.
That's true. That's true. I always have
So
me.
we ended with Fetid getting the visions from Filth as he sort of showed him what he saw when Eliphas Darkmoor came in. So he's conveyed that to the rest of you. Oh, and I should note also, Fetid, that when you saw Eliphas Darkmoor grin and order his minions to, it was like, excellent, take her, and they took her away. A big floating cartoonish looking hand was hovering next to his head doing this.
Okay.
Excellent. Good.
And
Nice.
he noticed it and kind of scowled, but then like turned his back on it. Just to remind you of the curse that he still lives
Has
with.
befallen him.
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay, so
we are
what's on the agenda?
we are currently still in one of the Quaggle chambers, correct? Meeting with
You
their
are in
injured.
fact in the secondary main hall. They've fled from the primary because that's where the ceiling has a big hole in it from the giant serpents. But they have a second fallback hall, and many of the local Quaggles have taken shelter here because, of course, the war with the warriors of Toad has driven them there.
Maybe it's just me, but all of this seems like really bad, right? Like really, really bad.
Not great.
Yeah, I don't care for this very much.
So, were we gonna try and get Nightshade back and like fight our way through the entire cult? Or there was like magic rocks or something? I don't know.
If we can destroy the arcane loci of the ritual, I think bringing her into her power will make freeing her and helping her escape a lot easier.
That makes sense to me.
You said you know where they were, right? They're like in a shape around the city.
Yes, I think we know where they were based on the reports and then the probability of where they would position them for maximum arcane potential.
You had the Quaggles look into where the statues had been delivered back when they were snuck into the city, and the map that Trit has given you makes a perfect pentacle around the city, and Copernicus had already made an Arcana check to be like, yeah, that
Probably a
tracks.
pentacle.
The point of the pentacle was due north, and that was the one that you guys have already dealt with. But there are 4 more points.
Do we need to destroy
Towards the east
all
and
of
west and southeast and
Yeah,
southwest.
because we've already destroyed
That's
one
a
of
good
them,
question.
and she's still under.
Yeah. Do we have a sense of like if there's an order that we can do that will like most disrupt whatever ongoing ritual is sort of suppressing her powers?
Yeah. Go ahead and make me an Arcana check. Also, Peter's a little quiet to me. I don't know if
Okay.
he is similarly
That's
quiet to
to
others.
be honest.
I can
I
bump
can
it up.
try to talk louder.
I also bumped you up.
Okay.
Yeah, you're doing good now.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll make an Arcana check. That's a 21.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
You aren't sure if the ritual that was used to render her unconscious has just already been done and done its thing. Like, you're not sure if it's a maintained situation where If so, you would suspect that having broken the first stone would have broken the ritual. You suspect that there's power being drawn from these stones. Like the statues have nothing to do with the ritual. The statues are just there to protect the stones from interlopers like yourselves. The stones seem to be placed in this nice pentacle that perfectly. It's not a perfect. The city isn't a perfect circle, so it doesn't make a perfect pentacle around the city. It's placed so that it makes a perfect pentacle around the citadel. So it's actually, to make that work, four of them are like watchtowers on the outer wall, and one of them is another building in the city. You imagine that building would be the easiest other stone to hit, at least like there won't be garrisons like there are in the guard towers. But who knows what's there? It's just some random building. You'd have to go check it out. But if the magic that was being done by those stones wasn't undone just by breaking one of them, then it's just it's a quantity game, right?
The
And
more we break, the
the
easier it is for
more
her
that
to
you
wake up.
break or whatever the power source goes away or goes down, right? It may very well be that the power was used to cast a spell, and that power has been used, and breaking the stones has no bearing on what happens with that spell, but it does have a bearing on the source of power available for more shenanigans. You roll with the 21. I'll actually say, I'll remind you that this ritual was done around the citadel, but it was some kind of runes within the citadel that had, like, there was a kind of a nexus of power there, and it was like Nightshade's own power being used against her. So you would guess that the nature of this ritual of stones was to co-opt that power. That's been done, and that power's been used. You're not sure what undoing the ritual with the stones will accomplish specifically related to Nightshade, but you do know that those stones being there and that ritual still being active means that there could be continuous use of Nightshade's power, right? Or whatever nexus of power there is here that Nightshade was drawing from.
Okay, so
You're too
it might be
silly.
worth investigating the Citadel for some other options here.
That might not, it might be a good idea. It depends how much time you've got. If you were able to spend a good amount of time at the Citadel, you could do a ritual to try and, undo someone else's control of some of this power. In the shorter term, you do think it would absolutely be valuable to break more of those stones.
Do we feel it could be worth breaking into two raiding parties? My concern is once we hit one stone, they'll fortify the rest, but I'm wondering if we can synchronize a strike on two of them and then quickly move to the other two before they have a chance to respond. We might be able to take everything out
I don't know,
before they
those
have a chance
things,
to arm themselves.
they like hit back last time I smacked them with my hammer. But also, I got my hammer's magic now, and it seems to have 4 glowing runes on it, and I don't know if that's any coincidence, but I'm kind of eager to test it out.
Another option would be to maybe see if we can convince the remaining Quaggles to mount some sort of distraction so we can maybe hit more of them in the sequence before they have time to regroup and fortify them all.
Yeah, who
I'm a
do we have
little.
for allies other than the Quaggles? Because, like, we just fought a dragon and well, we didn't fight the dragon, but we fought something that ate a dragon, which I think is worse. So it's been kind of a long day, or a couple
My
days.
my cousin, nephew, someone in my line runs a fighting school out here. I might be able to ask if he would be able to assist.
I could run
And
by the
if
pit and see who's still around. Like, if any of Basilisk people are here, I don't know how willing they'd be to help us, because wasn't Basilisk in on the whole cult thing? But maybe some of them
Basilisk
aren't.
had a raven tattoo.
Yeah. And it broke
okay,
my heart.
Morgan's just gonna be peeking at her mirror to for anything. Just hoping.
Why are you so silly?
She's hoping she sees
Nothing yet.
something.
On here.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any local contacts where they can find out what happened after the pit fight? Like, are the other pit fighters, like the Loxodon contingent,
Yeah. Where'd they go?
like what's happened with them? What I'm trying to do is figure out like what is a reason ostensibly that maybe the fighting school and the Loxodons and perhaps the Quaggles could like stage a nonviolent protest, the kind where they're going to pull out city guard to watch, but no one's getting hurt because I don't want to like launch an assault where people get slaughtered.
Right, yeah.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
like get all of the guards in one place because there's this big demonstration, and while
And there'll
that's
be less
happening,
for us to
we go
fight.
slam through. Yeah.
So sources of information then, I
Yeah.
guess, is your first goal is gathering information. So you have the Quaggles, of course, at your immediate investigation. You can certainly send out like filth, for example, or other means of investigating the city yourself.
Sure.
But in addition to that, Tromlin does have Thieves Guild contacts here. And I'll remind you that you had a couple that you were secretly talking to you because the Thieves Guild is was being taken over by the Ratkin Cyril Sneer.
Yeah, right.
And then, of course, as you just mentioned, Oogna has had contacts at the fighting pits, and of course, the sex cult operates out of town. Although Lady Pudenza isn't answering her phone.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go see why.
I'm
Might be a
really
good
worried
idea.
about that. I mean, we know we can get in there through the back doors, right? So
Yep. You know where the safe house locations are that you could
Yeah.
go and check out and talk to some of your contacts. Copernicus knows where the Sunshine School of Martial Arts is located, or whatever the heck it was called. He was a Sunshine, actually, right?
He was a Sunshine. Yes.
Yeah. Just trying to remember if he has a different last name, because obviously not all your family has exactly the same last name.
Where's my
But
treasures?
he was. I'm just pulling up his name on your sheet. He was.
Felix, I think. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, that's the
Felix
one.
Sunshine.
Yeah. You know, of course, where Felix's school is, or dojo, so you could potentially investigate that. And Tromlin, of course, knows where to find thieves in the Thieves Guild, although there's some risk there as to whether they are entirely in the Raven cult's pockets or if they are more anti-Cyril Sneer. And then, of course, you have the option of just investigating either with your Quaggle buddies or using your own powers.
But
Alina, that's a very unusual heroine that you have.
it's very angry. Buddy, you're too close to my eyes and too crazy. So I'm gonna need you to be somewhere else.
I feel like someone said that to me before.
Wrestle.
So, plans, thoughts, what you wish to do to gather information.
We could split up to go hit our contacts and then meet up.
Yeah.
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 Especially if we each have like a Quaggle escort to lead us back here.
Yeah. Some guides would be very helpful, and especially if they
Yeah.
can help us get as close as possible to our destinations without having to go surface side.
Exactly, yeah.
Move through the city more or less undetected.
So, safe to say then, so we're splitting the party,
Let's
but
split
we're
the party.
going. Oogna is getting Quaggles to
Eagle,
take her
nobody.
to.
Nobody.
Oogna, why don't we... Oogna,
Oogna, stop chasing that bird.
Oogna, but...
Oogna's playing with filth.
I'm back. Hey, I'm distracted.
Yep.
Oogna, but what if we just, like, hit up my club and then your club? Because it's on the way. And maybe do, like...
Yeah, we
all
could
do, like, a
actually
duo
probably
trio.
shouldn't all go off on our own, maybe?
Like,
Maybe like
alone,
groups of
alone?
two? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
seems
might be a good idea.
like
I would
I'm
love
sure they're
trauma
looking
with a
for
committed
us.
family member who doesn't
Just
suck.
because I said split the party doesn't mean there are any
Those words
possible
are very
inherent dangers.
triggering, Lane. We all have trauma associated with those words.
Well, the DM says, "Why don't you all split the party?"
Mhm.
5 ways.
That's
I didn't suggest it.
Let's just reel that in. Let's just reel that one in a little bit. Can we just like grab a rein each and maybe
Well,
tether ourselves together permanently?
I will note that
You
in
know
the
what?
case of
At this
Oogna,
point, Pernie, could you bring out your book, please?
Oogna what?
No, Pernie.
Oh, you're going to join my
Pernie.
chat thread? You're oh, I never thought this day would come.
you're going to be on the WhatsApp.
Okay, what's fully involved in this? Like, I just want to know before it happens. Like, how does it work?
Yeah, go ahead and character.
If I will send you all of the spiciest memes that I find. Uh, frequently I am included on demonic forward chains where if I don't forward it to you and to 5 other people within 24 hours, a demon will rend my soul. So you'll be included on those. But also
I've already gotten a couple of those. Yeah, I know how it works.
Essential information about party operations will come to you directly. You'll hear it in your head, and you'll be able to reply by thinking. You'll be able to hear the rest of the party on the chat thread, and that's all. And truly, as far as I know, this does not involve any surrendering of soul. It's kind of like the whatever compact she agrees to is just regarding communication with our group, right? There's no further.
There's literally no described
Yeah.
contract. You just sign the page of the book, and then he can then write on that page, and the words happen in your brain.
As far as I know, there's no sneaky little EULA sections where they throw in ownership of the soul or anything. But I'll be honest, I haven't read the EULA. I didn't have time.
So sending and receiving messages, there is a like magical protocol to that. It just doesn't automatically go through.
Yeah, and
It's
it doesn't
It's
need.
not a wholly open channel. It's like a you have to press send.
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's encrypted, and we don't need location services. We don't need access to your camera. We don't need access to storage. Just to send and receive messages. Unless you want Uncle Pernie's quote of the day, where that's a bonus subscription though.
Do you have a trial for that, or?
Yes, but you have to provide credit card when you sign up.
Okay, I'll sign up. I'll do the trial. We'll see how it goes.
Perfect.
And this is where we discovered that it was a multi-level marketing scheme the entire
The
time.
whole time.
So Pernie presents you with the book.
Pernie
Pernie's
wants
our
us to
dealer.
buy Amway.
Yep.
Pernie is our dealer.
It's
Yep.
Damway.
Yeah.
Damway.
Yeah.
Gamway.
Thank you. Oh,
No.
perfect. I'm gonna very briefly aside to say that there was a period where I worked for a Canadian charity that I quit over issues that would become very obvious on the national scale during the pandemic. A certain charity that may have been at the heart of a large liberal government scandal.
Good.
Saw the writing on the wall for that one.
boy.
I quit over reasons that would. Anyway, there was a period when I worked there where one of the sponsors was Amway.
Good.
And I asked if I could have my name taken off of the materials that I was writing related to that, and they said no.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not great.
So we have some intimate knowledge of Damway.
Mm-hmm.
Amway from the inside, yep.
Yep.
Independent business owners.
Oh boy.
My
I'm
goodness.
cooking up an incredible picture. I hope
Oh,
you
hey,
know.
it's nearly Loblaw's boycott month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's tomorrow.
I'm excited to
Hooray.
not go.
I need to figure out what they actually own over here on the East Coast.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, Raven is signing the book.
Yep.
Or Raven. Raven isn't signing the book, but Morgan.
Pretty can now contact Raven directly.
I suddenly get a connection into the game, and I'm hearing Pernie himself, not voiced by Peter, But Pernie, he's sending me messages.
Your brain has been
Voice of that
isekai.
bastard in your head all the time.
Only the best grandpa memes.
Yeah. He won't be
So-
my patron, unfortunately. I was like, come on, magic over here. It's just a one spell would do wonders for my life. And he's like, I can't do it.
I only have 2 spells.
So
I
what's
need
the
to
plan?
sign up more people.
Yeah, clearly.
So you're excited. You're getting Raven on the
Yeah.
chat.
And then I think it's
Or
going to be me and
Morgan.
Tromlin going to the fighting school, and I'm assuming the other 3 will go do the 2 stops. You're more exposed doing 2 stops,
Yeah.
so you might want Fetid as the extra backup.
That makes sense.
That makes
and
sense to
and
me.
a spotter.
So we are splitting, but
Neither
not
of us
as
are good.
extensively.
Yeah, we
So
need one high wit
Copernicus-
person in each group.
Copernicus and Trauman are going to check out the dojo, and from there, I'm assuming potentially look for some of Tromlin's Thieves Guild contacts.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we'll make ours a double 2 then.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Randy, is that
Yeah,
on
that's for me.
Tromlin's to-do list?
Cool.
Okay.
So we each
Yeah.
have 2 errands. Let's go.
And the rest of you are going to go to Lady Pudenza's safe house that you went to before,
And then to the pit.
and then also to the fighting pits. Okay, so I'll start
One pit
with
to another.
I'll start with that group. When you so both in both cases is a bit of finagling to do. I'm assuming you're also letting the Quaggles know about the kind of information you're trying to gather, so that
Yeah.
you can use that resource as well.
Yeah.
And are we cool with the general plan of trying to figure out a common protest so that we can get a lot of people together without...
Yeah, I
Here's the
think that's
thing.
a safer
Okay,
way to do
no.
it than
What we
saying,
want
like,
is
go start a
several-
fire somewhere or whatever.
Several big protests instead of one big protest, because then the police have to split up, and that makes it much harder for them to
Yes.
police all of them. Remember,
Yes.
kids. They
And
can
none of
stop a
them-
10,000 person protest, but they cannot stop 10,000 person protests.
Yes. Love it.
Just so you know. Just so you know.
Yep.
Just put that
Dungeons
out
and
there.
Dragons,
In
everyone.
case you want it.
It's good tactics in Dungeons
Take an
and Dragons.
umbrella.
It's good tactics in Dungeons and Dragons and not in real life.
Don't bring
Yes.
your sending stone.
Don't bring your sending stone. Bring an umbrella.
Bring an umbrella. Bring some water. Anyway.
So, I'll start with the group of Morgan and Fetid and Oogna, which also includes now Trey and Ollie and Filth.
So many
I'll
animals.
be right back. I'm gonna drink.
Okie dokie. So the group of you head to Lady Pudenza's, and Morgan, you still know the secret way to get in from the bricks in the alley.
I was
You
thinking
do
even
so,
going
and
through
it
the-
works.
Yeah.
The secret entrance to
Nice.
the back secret club. You discover 2 things very quickly. One is the actual inn that this is behind, this is attached to, has been closed down. The place is dark and the front doors are boarded over. And the second thing you discover is when you go in the back through the secret way, you can in fact do so, but there's no one here, and in fact it looks like people have moved out in a hurry. There's still some stuff, some of the various people who use this, because this isn't like Lady Pudenza's house. This is one of the safe houses where the sex cult can get up to its shenanigans, and so various belongings were here that are not necessarily one specific person's, but those belongings have been rapidly removed. So there's still stuff left behind. There was a certain degree of triage.
Someone's discarded dildo that
Yes.
fell out of their bag on the way out.
Yeah.
is by the
We walk in there and
door.
Ugna's got her hammer sort of out and ready and is like,
I would-
is this creeping anybody else out? This seems bad.
So
I would say more like the one drawer full of sex toys is like still half open, and only a couple of prized favorites were taken. That level.
more like least
of in a
favorites.
hurry.
They were left.
The dildo
for
is
a
still
reason.
warm in the bed.
It's still warm.
Oh no!
There's one
still
one
smoking.
vibrator just like
Yeah.
undulating like really slowly.
I mean,
it's just like,
Pudenza is a
"Brrr,"
tiefling,
but it's just like the
so-
battery's dead. It's dying, just like
So yeah, there's still a
2
smoldering
volts.
dildo,
Yeah.
a smoking dildo.
Mhm.
Haha, foul play.
Just like when you
Um,
go into like a haunted fairground and like the animatronics are just moving too slowly. You know?
but like the stuff that belongs to like there was also like clothing here and like
Yeah.
costume stuff for for that end of the business, burlesque stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
And like again, same thing. Like closets are open, stuff is on the floor, signs of things having been hastily stuffed in bags and run off with kind of deal. But
But I
not like ransacked like by thieves.
Yeah.
Rather, somebody somebody came in here and grabbed some things
Hey,
and got the heck out of here in a hurry.
we have a ranger. Are there footsteps? Like, are there
That's
footprints?
a good
Ooh.
question.
Let's do some
Not only do you have a
tracking.
ranger, you now
Roll
have a
some dice.
ranger gets an aid action from a hellhound companion. So roll
I
with
was
advantage on your survival check.
I was gonna
Alright.
just look for Pudenza's favorite toy, just like the one she would not leave without if she was leaving. And
I
able to
would
grab
say
things.
that's less related to like toys and stuff and more like outfits.
Well, yeah.
And you'll
That would
definitely
be a 17 on my survival roll.
okay. Um, that's the high roll of the
Yep.
advantage, I assume.
Yeah.
So you will determine. So first of all, very quickly, Morgan, you will spot that a lot of Pudenza's favorite outfits are missing,
Hmm.
specifically. Fetid, you will pick up a variety of scents. The most noteworthy is the one that you associate with Lady Pudenza.
Mhm.
So there's sort of the smoky infernal, but also perfumed uh, dominatrix. Lots of leather, but there's definitely been a few other people here, and somewhat recently, like probably like a couple days ago, 2 3 days,
Mhm.
which would put it the night the night before. Uh, so not the night that you went in at dawn to the dragon's cave, but the night before that.
Okay.
So very recent.
The first night that you spent at the Chillwinds
Yeah. Hmm.
All
is
right.
basically
I
what
will
that is.
relay that to the party.
Huh. Does that mean anything to either of you? Like, the city was pretty chaotic when we left, but I didn't know it was like, grab your stuff and flee chaotic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What would make Pudenza run away like this? Morgan?
Um.
Like the
What if the
guards?
What if it was the like teaming up with the barbarians?
Mm.
Right? Like, so if we got rid of the worst of it and it was okay when we left, but then they just teamed up with the fucking barbarians who attacked that were remaining. I don't know.
The
That sounds
last
stupid.
you saw of Pudenza, I will remind you, would be the day or the night before the fight. Like the day of the fight, you were at this place suiting up for getting Oogna all prepped for the battle, for the event. So the last you saw her basically was just before you went to the arena and giant serpent attack happened.
Oh,
Hmm.
Ollie has opinions.
Well, actually, it's very, very good timing because I was about to say
Ollie
that
may have opinions.
Ollie suddenly stands upright with his hackles raised and starts growling in the direction of the secret entrance you came through.
Okay.
Shall
Well.
we stealth and prepare?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've already got my hammer out. Maybe time to play Pop Goes the Weasel.
I will
Maybe.
take.
So I
I will
believe the
take
weasels were
perception
part
or
of Toad's cult.
investigation checks.
Ooh. Eesh.
Perception?
Do we get a
Ooh,
group stealth action?
nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Nat
Start the
20 on the
game.
perception.
Yeah.
Perception or investigation. I'll take whichever's better.
My investigation
don't-
is decidedly worse.
I don't beat a nat 20, but I have a 17 and 5, 22 on investigation.
You can roll for Ollie as well, who has a +8 perception.
Ooh,
I've
even
got
better.
a 9 on perception.
He's too busy barking now.
Bork, bork.
Work.
Okay, then you can't hear much over Ollie growling, but Fetid, I'm assuming you're immediately try to quiet him down because
Yeah.
something happening. You don't want to give the game away. And Oogna will basically like shush everyone because you'll hear with your nat 20 marching boots, like a tromping sound of a number of armored soldiers marching together, getting louder.
Like outside on the street?
Like at least the way you came in was through the alley, so it could be as close as, I guess with a nat 20 I'll say, yeah, it's probably on the street at the front of the
Okay.
alley, like out
Oogna freezes,
passing the front of the inn.
and then we'll lock eyes with Fetid and tap her chest right where the Mud Hollow Town Guard would have their little insignia, and then point in the direction.
Dang. Yeah, Ollie, I know.
Oh, he's role playing real good here.
He's good.
That's too
Didn't
much.
realize he was gonna be on cue.
Yeah. What are you so mad about, bud?
He's doing exactly that in game.
He's mad about the guards,
He is.
clearly.
He's experiencing character bleed. The poor boy.
Are you happy now?
Not character bleed.
Jeff, be careful. I think the town guard is about to raid your place.
Yeah, I'll find all of my illegal guitars.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Alina.
Yes.
I just realized, I don't know if there was 100 bits that were cheered at the
I saw
the
it.
squad.
It has been added.
Okay, just making sure since
Thank
we're
you,
on the
Elias.
manual form.
Yeah, I was trying to find a replacement, and they are. I need to install a thing, which would mean
Yep.
not to be streaming. So hopefully, after games.
So do you want to do anything about these guards, or are you trying to sort of lay low and hope they go by?
My instinct would be to try and lay low, but if people disagree, I'm open to other suggestions.
I see nodding.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay low. But I will take
So-
note that Fetid is ready to rock.
Yep.
So you will in fact hear the guards slow, and then you'll hear some crashing and realize that they have pulled the boards off of the front door of the inn, and opened the door and are now inside the inn itself. Morgan, you are aware that there are peepholes if you wanted to try and get a look at what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look, and I'm a little worried that we might have been caught coming here, and they're just confused as to where we went.
I mean, if we have to fight, we'll fight. But
Yeah.
if we can lay low, let's.
Yeah.
So peeping through one of the there's like just classic. There's like a portrait in the pub, and you like move the little thing so you can look through the eyes.
Scooby-Doo
And, like,
style.
Scooby-Doo.
It is actually
Scooby-Doo
a
it.
dog. I was already gonna say that
Right.
it's a dog. It's a dog's eyes, like one of those really
Yep. It's a
unsettling
dog playing
old
poker.
pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a dog playing solitaire. And it's a knoll playing solitaire. There you go. We got this. So you look through, and you do in fact see a large squadron of soldiers wearing the livery of the Langarians. There are, in fact, I should say, sorry, there are two different sets of uniform. They're all wearing very similar kind of man-at-arms armor and cloak, and so on, but they have an insignia patch. The livery of the House Langarian is on about 2/3 of them, and the remaining third have a different house patch that you don't recognize, Morgan, or at least not off the top of your head. So it's not as important a house in Ravenfall as the Langarians. Actually, you know what? I would give you a roll to give me a history check, and you might actually recognize
Langarian
it.
is the house of Nightshade's consort, right?
Yes.
Hold on.
Baron Gregory Langarian
Yeah.
was Nightshade's consort, who was kind of an ass, who you suspect is being mind controlled by the Raven cult.
He was an ass, but he wasn't this much of an ass.
No, he was
Before.
he was a very like a selfish brat of a jackass, and very smug and stuff. But he wasn't like a Raven cultist, which appears to be what he is now. What was that roll?
Yeah, what was it? I got a 9 on the dice.
9 on the dice. History.
That's a 9 total.
Okay. Yeah, you think you might have seen it before. It's not like a completely unique house from somewhere far away that you wouldn't know. You think it's one of the northern houses. It's just not one that you're very familiar with.
Hold on. Pernie?
Yes.
Pernie?
Hello.
Oh, hey.
New phone. Who
Um,
dis?
who are the
New tome, who
Langarians
dis?
again?
New tome. Nice.
That's beautiful.
Well done.
Who the fuck are the Langarians again? Langarian.
You know the Langarians. It's the other house you don't recognize. You'd have to like draw it or something,
Can I
or
emote
describe it. You can describe it.
I'll describe it, I guess. Yeah. Do you know who these guys are?
Yeah, you absolutely would. You don't have to roll anything.
Okay.
It's the Boltrees.
Okay. Yes, that is the house that is trying to kill Tromlin. We don't like them. Technically, I'm related, but they're terrible. They're terrible.
You're only related by marriage.
How many of them are there in the inn? Within the inn. And
The number of soldiers?
Yeah.
There is a squadron of probably a squadron of 20. And about 2/3 of them, maybe 15 total, we'll say, are Langarians, and the remaining 5 are Boltrees.
Okay.
They're sort of little sub squad attached to the main squad. As you watch them, they're basically ransacking the place. They're searching. They're searching the inn, is what they're doing.
Yeah. I think they spotted us on the way here. They don't know we're hidden. Okay, where can we go that is not where these guys are as an exit? Could I roll for another weird
Yeah, you know of other safe houses. This is the best one, of course, because it's basically Lady Pudenza's place. But there are other safe houses around town. I will note that you had to take some time to get here because you had to sort of sneak around. Like when you went through the Quaggle tunnels, you can't just go wherever you want now because there's a whole area of the tunnels near the Citadel that have been taken over by the Warriors of Toad. By Toad and his Weasels. Which sounds like a band. Good old Toad and the Weasels. So basically not every safe house that you would just immediately jump to is going to be quickly and easily accessible.
Yeah. Do we want to try another one or just go right to your spot, Oogna?
I imagine if Pudenza ran away, she's the leader, right? So like probably everyone else ran away too. We should probably check in on the pit fighters.
Yeah. Let's just go there, yeah. And
So-
we gotta be more careful. I think they trailed us here somehow.
Can we disguise ourselves? I mean, they're probably looking for us.
Yeah, I can disguise.
Okay. I
Do
mean,
you
we got
have
all kinds of clothes here.
anything? Yeah. Let's have a little
I can sew.
makeover moment. Makeover.
So as you're having this conversation, you start hearing banging on the wall between the inn and where you are now.
Mhm.
And you quickly realize that it's moving down the wall. It's like bang, bang, bang,
Mhm.
They're looking for the
bang,
hidden
bang,
door.
bang.
Yeah, we gotta get it a different exit out.
Hmm.
Are there any
Okay.
other exits out of this room, or are we trapped
Well,
in
then, so
here?
you can go out through the inn, which is not the way
Yep.
you came in. You can also go out to the alley, which is how you did come in.
Mhm.
And that is away from where the soldiers are.
We should
But my
slip out
question
through
was
the
going to
alley.
be, so you can
Yeah,
just go
let's
back the
try
way you
a stealth out
came.
the alley.
Yeah, my question is, what are you doing in terms of stealthing, basically?
Actually, why don't
How
I
far are
Pass
you
without
going to
trace.
go?
Yeah, I want to pass without traces for sure. I was also wondering if I have time to rig up a quick trap to maybe impede their progress if they do find the
Nice.
hidden door.
Actually,
Nice.
I was thinking we could dimension door. 500 feet
Sure.
is a lot of feet.
I might save that
Yeah,
for
Sure.
you can
later,
give
because I
yourself
think
a quick
we can
jump, but
slip
that's a
away.
high level spell, and you can't take everyone, right? You can only take one
Yeah.
person with you,
I'd
Yeah.
save that
unless
for
you're
if we have
spending the
trouble getting
points
into the pit.
to twin it, or
Okay.
yeah. Um,
Could I
so
do a
I will
minor
say, well, hang on,
illusion
let me deal with
to?
Jeff first. Fetid, go ahead and make me a. You're basically improvising a quick trap.
Yeah.
So I'll get you to roll your trap making skills with your trap making tools, but you're rolling with disadvantage because you're going fast.
Hmm.
So that is dex based.
Okay.
So you've got a +8.
All right. High roll was an 11. Low roll was a 10. So 10.
So 18 is pretty
Not bad.
good.
Yeah.
So even while Morgan was like spying through the wall and whispering with Oogna about where to go and what to do next, you could have started rigging up something. What do you have in mind uh, in terms of a trap? Because it's going to kind of depend on, are you
I
using
was
any of your gear?
There's a lot of gear that you could use here. I mean,
yeah, I was thinking something involving like maybe
the
I'm just looking
thrusting
for
machine.
something that will like impede these guys. So maybe like a combination of my web spell and a whole bunch of dildos
They just
and
open the door and get a face full of dildos.
yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure you could make a pretty gross trap out of the thrusting machine.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think the easiest improv there would be, yeah, like you basically grab a bunch of like gauzy negligee and like silk curtains and stuff that are around the sleeping areas, and web that all up to the ceiling
Hmm.
with an array of sex toys for indignity purposes,
Yeah.
uh, and then just leave it concentrated. And if somebody breaks in here, it just drops on them, and they're just all
Yeah.
tangled up.
Hmm.
So
That's
we're whispering, and Fetid
Sounds good
quickly
to
gets
me.
to work throwing all of this stuff together.
Yep.
yep.
Good.
And I believe you can multitask. Yeah, you can have you can hold that going until it gets set off
Uh-huh.
while you use your pass without trace,
All right. Very good.
because you can multitask. Okay, so everybody roll me stealth with the +10 from pass without trace.
That is a 37 for me.
32.
Good lord.
Woo.
Whew.
What we got, Raven?
24 plus 7.
So 31.
31. Not bad.
Nice.
We all broke
31,
30.
32.
Nice.
Everybody's over 30.
We just disappear. We're gone.
Yep.
And Ollie, I'm just gets to just use your stealth roll.
All right.
I'm just using that power from Ranger Revised because it makes life easier. And yeah, you guys magically slink down the alley. You don't actually get very far before you hear shouts and crashes as the trap is set off, meaning they absolutely found their way into the back area.
Then we should
And you
set
make
out
your
out
way
of here at a
to the
trot.
street.
Let's go
Yep.
fast.
So
My
as
second
you
home.
As you move through the streets, sort of ducking from alley to alley, Fetid, of course, using his abilities to know the Quaggle sneaky ways through and around and under places, you manage to avoid the major thoroughfares. But as you do so, you can picture the scene of like sneaking from alley to alley. There are guard patrols everywhere. You do not remember there being this many guards in the city. There are reinforcements of some kind here, and you see a mixture of the House Langarian soldiers, the and Boltree soldiers. You also notice, and I'm going to kind of give you your nat 20 perception a little bit more here, Alina. Just the a lot of the Langarians here, they almost look like their livery is new or unusual to them. And you come to the conclusion as a group that a lot of the original soldiers, Nightshade's troops of Ravenfall, have just been absorbed into the Langarian house
Right.
livery.
He's taking control of the city.
So what you're probably seeing is a mixture of the original town guard, but also bolstered by all these Langarian troops who may even have come from somewhere else, and House Boltree troops, who you also didn't know were in the city, or at least not in these numbers. There are patrols of these. Now, on the plus side, the patrols are always either about a dozen or closer to 20, and similar makeup to the group that was at the inn. So it may be that the inn group was a regular patrol. You're not sure. They don't seem to be like hunting for someone. They seem to be patrolling.
Do these seem to be like people who were active in the city and then were like, yeah, I'll take up guard?
No, you see a lot of faces
Or
you
is
don't
that-
recognize. Like you see a lot of people who don't look like they're from around here. And in fact, yeah, make me an investigation check, Morgan. You here for a long time. You know this stuff.
Oh, that's not amazing. I'm gonna.
You got loads of inspirations if you want to use one.
I'll use an inspiration. Oh God, it's
Why is there a
worse.
picture of a guy with a guitar? Oh, it went away.
I did the pose generator. We're gonna
Oh,
do a sketch of
to do a
Trauma.
random trauma pose. Nice.
Thought you were talking about me for a second. I was like, I don't have a guitar in my hand.
Considering
There's literally guitars
Who's
that I
this
can
random
see
guy?
in the background. Just
I've got a whole forest behind me.
Your
the most
house.
I got on that is a 5.
Okay, yeah, you're not sure. You definitely see a lot of faces you don't recognize, but like then again, you don't know all the town guard. So hard to say. I will say though that you guys have noticed that I already mentioned that they don't seem to be like searching for anyone; they're just patrolling the streets. But in addition to these packs of soldiers that are marching in patrols around the city, or who are marching purposely, clearly going from one place to another place, you will occasionally see packs of weasels, like not sneaking around underground
Like out in the
quaggles,
daylight.
but like out wandering in black cloaks, with the little raven clasp, that the ones that were Toadie's minions before were wearing, just openly marching around. And it's not just weasels. Sometimes they have humans and others with them running around. But you see groups of these weasels. The weasels, in addition to wearing the raven clasp on their cloaks, have taken to wearing a little brooch on their shoulder, which is like a pair of crossed frog's legs. Anybody remember
These are Toad's
in
boys.
the Muppet movie, the
Yep.
original Muppet movie, the guy who wanted to like capture Kermit and make him be his salesman for frog's legs? He had a logo that was like a crossed pair of frog's legs.
Hot.
It's that. So you make your way towards the fighting pits. So for that, at that, I will switch to the other group, Team Sunshine slash Boltree, I guess. Tromlin and Grandpa. So you guys were going to go, are you going to go look for Thieves Guild folks first, or are you going to go to the Sunshine Dojo
That's your
and
call,
try and find
Tromlin.
Felix?
What are you thinking? Thieves
Do dojo first.
Sorry?
Dojo?
Sure. To the dojo.
Sounds good. So you are able to get there quite quickly. You don't. It's actually relatively close. It's on the north side of the city, so you don't have to go through the Citadel area and make a big detour like the other group did. So you very quickly get to a tunnel where you can come up to the street level in a back alley, and then look across a small plaza at the dojo, and you see that the dojo is all quiet and has been boarded up. There's no one there. Now you can probably break in, but there are no people in the practice yard out front, and the door of the building itself. It's just a low building. It's a monk's retreat. So it's basically, as you recall it, Copernicus. It's effectively a small hall, like a dining slash meeting hall, and then it's one story and that's it. And then at the back of the hall, there's doors to a corridor with just a row of cells, right? Very very plain, austere rooms for the individual practitioners to live in. And then at the front of the building, the hall opens with big double doors that were usually like just thrown wide, maybe with braziers outside in the winter when it's colder, opening into a practice yard, which is like a little bricked plaza in front of the building, adjacent to the street.
Not good. That's not
And there's
normal.
no sign of anyone in the yard. There's and the double doors are closed and have been boarded over.
I think I will do a quick search inside the building. Can I airlift Tromlin with me if I use my boots of flight and just slowly kind of?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll if he
He is
allows,
small enough to do that.
I'll airlift us in and just do a quick scout around for like, did they leave a note? Did they explain what's going on or why they've left? Is there anyone here? Did they explain how to reach them?
So sorry. So you're trying to go? Are you actually breaking into the building, or are you just going on the roof, or what?
I assume because it's an open courtyard, it's very easy to just sort of fly into the
Yeah.
courtyard and then access things. I assume they haven't boarded up every single door once you're inside the courtyard, and they just kind of
So
boarded
inside the courtyard, there is only one door to the yard, to the hall, which is a huge double door that's usually wide open, and that has been closed and boarded. So there is no way into the building.
Is there a chimney or anything?
There's a large chimney. There are also windows into the individual cells in the back, but they're all little small portholey windows.
Gotcha.
I'll try the chimney.
Chimney might be the best way to get in.
Good
Ho
thinking.
ho ho!
You go up and sing a little Dick Van Dyke song or
Yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
click your heel. Poof,
I will make
down
up a whole new kind of accent as I go down the chimney.
Just as long as it's adjacent, it's fine. Who could possibly complain? There's no
British
Cockneys
people,
now.
but like, do they count?
Cockneys don't exist. They're fictional, like elves.
Truly. Do I have prestige? I do have prestidigitation, so I can kind of clean myself off as I go down, so that I'm not.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna come out looking totally demonically, like
soot
just
caked.
coated soot. Yeah, like a creature of soot.
And inexplicably, when you come at the bottom, you've got a flat cap on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm just a pair of eyes floating in an otherwise like completely sooted silhouette. Perfect. And I will poke around for any notes, missives, or if anyone's just like in hiding here.
So this, in contrast to Lady Pudenza's lust den, there's no signs of a hurried exit here, but that may just be the fact that they didn't have a lot of belongings. Kind of the whole idea behind Felix Sunshine's Marshall College is the fact that they train austerely. So you do see some weapons that are still been left around in the training area in the main hall. But when you go back to the cells and start checking individual doors, a few of them have locks, not all of them do, but I'll hand wave because Tromlin is quite capable of picking any of these locks. You find a cell that is identical to all the others, but you're pretty sure was actually Felix's because it has a writing desk and a whole bunch of documents in a little mini shelf above the desk. Those documents look to have been hurriedly picked over. But there is a folded letter with no address or writing on it. Like it's folded up, but it has been sealed, and you do recognize the seal as being one of the older seals of the Sunshine family. Something that would not be widely known to use.
I will crack that open. I'm assuming
Something you would expect from Felix or like Albina, but not from like most of the members of the family.
Okay, I'll crack it open. I'm assuming this is either to me or should someone from the family come through looking for him.
It is inscribed in magical ink, and you can read it immediately because of your ability to see magic, but you recognize immediately that it is magical ink. In other words, if someone weren't able to or weren't using a detect magic spell or other means, they would not be able to see any writing here at all. Actually, no, it'd be even clever if there's like some really boring, mundane letter that's like, "Dearest Lucretia, I long for your touch." Just some like copied from like a bad Harlequin romance novel, but has been written over with the secret ink. So when you're using magical sight, you can. It's like you've got glowing letters that supersede the text behind them.
Sweet.
And it is a very short note. It says, Copernicus, if you find this, the all allies of yourselves or the great lady are being persecuted. We are fleeing with what was his name? Captain
Darius.
Caveman. No.
Darius Sunshine.
Yes, Darius. We are fleeing with Captain Darius's people. Beware of the cult. They will actually, it's going to say, beware of the cult. They will seek to, and then it just ends. Right. It's not signed. He's just made an X.
Yeah.
You get the impression that it was very rushed at the last moments of making this letter.
I will like quote tweet the letter in a send to the group.
It probably ends just abruptly, like will seek to harm, like something like just a real sketchily written final word.
Yeah. It's super shoddy.
Just going, crap, no time, quick, close it, seal it, run.
Yeah, I will forward that to the group and say we may find ourselves short on allies. So whatever we're doing to the statues, we may be doing it alone, or we may need to leave the city and see if we can gather allies from outside.
The problem with leaving the city is it gives them more time to hunt and worship, start putting down people.
Yeah.
Can I do like a search for investigation to see if there's anything hidden anywhere?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just trying to think of what might be of use.
Think like secret passages, like compartments, things that may be hidden. Would it be investigation or perception or what?
Either one,
I'll give the help action
whichever is
to whatever
better.
you're doing.
Sure. So roll whichever is better of perception or investigation,
Perception
but
is better
with
for me.
yeah, and roll it with advantage because you're working with Pernie.
All right. All right. Let's see what we get. 2d20. Oh shit! My low is a 17.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
What's the
My
highest?
high is a 19, so that is 26.
Nice.
Damn good.
Uh, you guys search around the place. Unlike the other group, there's no sudden appearance of a patrol. So you have lots of time to be leisurely about this search. You eventually, like, the place is really austere, so there's not a lot here. You find some things that aren't particularly hidden, but just weren't, obvious. And like you find the larders. You find at one end of the hall is a storeroom, and the other end is a small kitchen. The kitchen has a larder that has been largely picked over. Whoever left here, they took supplies with them. The storeroom is where you find the cache of like weapons and armor and things related to the training. But again, normal stuff. But the last thing you notice, sort of as you're basically done picking over the place, is a loose flagstone in the floor in one corner of the storeroom. And neither of you strength is neither of your strong point. But if you had someone stronger with you, you might be able to lift that flagstone. There's probably something under it.
I
Wait,
will
is
summon a
there
demon to do it.
are there any bow sticks or anything?
Yeah,
Can
you
I
can
try to
make some attempts.
basically use like kind of break and sharpen the end of one and slide it in, try to lift it? Make a lever, basically.
Yeah, you can definitely make a lever, and the two of you can work. This will be a strength check to try and lift this stone.
Well,
But the
not my.
two of
I
you
mean,
working together can get advantage on the roll.
okay.
That's a -1
Uh,
for my strength, so I think yours
So
in doing this.
yeah,
Actively
I was
hindering.
flat.
it's a
So
flat
let's see what we
roll
got.
for Tromlin, but rolled with advantage from the help.
So I'm glad there was advantage. I got a 17 and a
Sure.
1.
Yeah, the one would not have done it. The 17, you manage using the lever to lever it up enough that you can kind of shove some odds and ends, like the haft of an axe or something, in there so that it
I just had my
catches.
monkey grab whatever's underneath.
So you can see. There isn't a thing underneath. There's a passageway.
Oh,
But getting this stone up enough to jam something under it, you can now get a good look down there. You can use like a magical light, or just Copernicus, who can see in pitch blackness,
Yeah.
and have a look down. And what you will see, Pernie, is that this goes down and into basically it's just a straight down drop into a passage. And you would imagine it's probably something you can access from the Quaggle sewerways.
Okay.
So you might you would either need to get some more help up here to actually get this stone fully moved out of the way so you can climb down, or you could go back to your Quaggle escorts and see if they can find a way to this spot underground.
I might summon a demon and just get it to move it.
That works.
Solution to
Or-
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or let me see if I have any strong
hey, it's worked
undead.
so far.
Hold on. Summon undead 5E. Just because demons are a little less predictable. Undead are
Yeah, how
get
strong
exactly
are
what
the
you pay
bigger?
for.
Summon Undead does have a fighty type, so the question is, what stats does that fighty type have? Undead spirit. Is it the putrid style?
I think they all have the same stat block. They just have different.
No, there are differences. Like the putrid and the ghostly have more hit points.
Yeah, but I think
The it's the abilities. It's just this the traits are all the same. It's just whether it has. It's just which powers it has. The putrid is basically it's either a zombie, which is the putrid one, a discorporate spirit, which is the ghostly one, or a skeleton.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna
But
do a
it-
demon for this one.
It does a +1 strength regardless of which type you summon.
This
So
is
it's
very
better than
much
you
like
guys, but not by much.
I'm summoning a demon to like open a jar for me.
This
But
is
Just
very,
really love these
very
pickles.
Copernicus, though. But you can draw. You've got the time to draw the blood circle
yeah,
and make it big enough so that it would just be like summon the demon inside a circle that includes the stone you want it to move,
yeah,
and then when the spell ends, it's trapped there.
yeah, and then I'll just let it. I'll be like, you can go now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have
So
to
I
worry
will
about
do
fighting
that,
it.
and I'm gonna make it aggro jag just because I'm being annoying.
Of course.
Now my
He's
line of
strong too.
"That'll do, pig. That'll do" works perfectly.
Okay.
Buddy.
The huge fat agrajag appears with his like vast array of fangs
Doesn't he have
in
like a
different
big piggy
directions.
nose? I was always picturing him like Ganon.
I pretty much
Pigform Ganon.
made him exactly look like Agrajag from Hitchhiker's Guide. So he's like
Okay, good.
a big
Jack's
fat
son.
Yeah.
demon with flappy little bat
Yeah.
wings, and like teeth that like make it almost
Good.
impossible
Oh
for him
no,
to
we've
talk.
got a picture.
And
Lara
then
drew a
and then
picture
Lara
somewhere.
drew him, and it was
Hang
perfect.
on,
So that's
where
what he
is
looks
he?
like. This is just the end of it. So Agrajag appears and goes, Copernicus! And then like lunges, but there's a circle hoping to like lunge at you before you give him a command. But A,
Summoned
you give him
you.
a command first, and B, he can't cross the circle.
I have summoned you for a great and mighty purpose, Agrajag, to bear the whims of hell to my cause. Could you move that rock for me, please? My back is old and bad, and I pop bones when I bend over.
I'll move the rock for you. And he grabs the stone with his claws and is clearly going to throw it at you, but you can tell him to do something else.
And now set it down gently to the side. And now
He puts
off
it
you
down.
pop. Off you pop. There you go.
Amazing.
Roll me the d6 rounds.
1.
Oh, nice. So he only gets one round to act before he
I don't,
disappears.
he still can't leave the circle, correct? Even when he's
No.
unleashed. Yeah.
No, so the point of the circle is he can't cross it. But they when you end the spell, if you stop concentrating on the spell before it reaches full duration, they don't disappear for 1d6 rounds. He also, I guess he gets a saving throw with disadvantage for the round that you were commanding him, but he failed. Oh man, that disadvantage really does a lot of work there. I rolled a nat 20 and a 4. So he rolled a nat 20, but he still fails his charisma saving throw and can't do what he would like to do, which is throw a rock at you. Just double checking. The wording of this spell always like confuses me. Like it doesn't make it clear whether I'm pretty sure when you cease casting the spell, when you choose to end the spell, it's the same as stopping concentrating on it, because it doesn't clearly state otherwise. So either way, when you use this spell, the demon always gets 1d6 rounds to be uncontrolled at the end of it.
But I think his,
Which is the main reason to put a protective circle around yourself.
Yeah.
So he gets 1 round. He looks around for something to throw at you, and there's nothing there. So he just screams as loudly as he can. They're in here! But who knows?
For him to drink. I felt bad for him.
Yeah,
he
it's
Copernicus
had a
like
rough.
poison. He would really like to get Pernicus
Can,
dead.
can I
Um,
no, I guess I can't as a reaction banish him
What?
for screaming.
Oh, I
He gets
I
30
thought of something
seconds.
we could do as a reaction. Do I still have some of that fairy cursed food?
yeah,
Can I throw it in his fucking mouth?
sure. Make a hit roll.
I
Range
might
X.
spend inspiration on this one.
His mouth is wide open.
I mean, you're pretty good. You got a +6 to throw stuff.
Okay, roll doing these 6. 25.
That'll do pretty good.
Enjoy some fake curse, you fuck.
Uh, yeah. So you throw it in his mouth, but then the one round ends and he disappears. So you're not really sure what happened, but he basically they're in here as you throw a lavender cake in his mouth, and he kind of looks surprised and then disappears in a puff
It'd be a
of
great
acrid.
negotiation in hell.
He disappears in a puff of acrid smoke and a fart noise.
Let's get down there now.
I think so. I don't think we'll be able to move the
Nope.
stone back, so we'll just leave a little message with the Quaggles to
Okay, I'm back.
to replace it if they have a second, if they can send someone strong to do that. And I will help lower Tromlin down the drop because I can hover and fly very slowly. Little grandpa copter.
Amazing.
Okay, so you can head on down into this tunnel, and you find that it does indeed seem to be like a sewerway, but it doesn't have as many intersections with other tunnels or byways as you have previously found. It's almost like it's like you actually spot like side passages that have been bricked up, so it's just a two-way channel. It's going from somewhere to somewhere with this one spot that goes up into the dojo. So which direction do you want to go? It goes from where the dojo is. It goes, I would say, north-south.
Maybe towards the Citadel. I'm just curious to know if this gets us closer, if we have to make a
It does
final
not
strike.
go towards the citadel. North. So if this is sort of the ovalish city, and from your perspective, the citadel is towards this end of the oval. This place is in northerly part of the city, like this, and the tunnel goes this way. So you'll be going parallel to the citadel. I guess you can go a bit closer by going south.
Right. Let's go south. Unless you have another
Okay.
idea, Trammel. Or unless Trammel, you know a Thieves Guild contact that would be easier to get to from the north.
I have a feeling getting to the Thieves Guild is a bad idea right now. And the reason I say that is we know it's been
Infiltrated.
corrupted. And that means the cult knows where the guild is and knows all the members.
Yeah.
So
Because there was like two
I will
factions
be
within the
there to
Thieves
help
Guild,
us.
right? There was like those who were with the Raven Queen and those who weren't.
Yes, it was being split
Yeah.
down the middle, more or less. Which means that the cult knows, and there's nothing like.
All right. Well, then I think we reconvene and we prepare for desperate heroic assaults.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I'm guessing the same
as
thing
you
with
head
the
towards the
pit.
south, you head towards the south in this tunnel, and eventually the tunnel ends at a bare wall, but there is a rickety ladder. There clearly used to be sort of metal rungs here, or metal brackets that held rungs, and there are wooden cross pieces, but they're quite old, and some of them have broken, and some of them are just kind of rotting. So you can climb this ladder, but it's a little precarious. You want to be careful.
Oh, Grandpa
But you
Copter
can
it here.
fly. So at the top of
Hold
this
on.
ladder, it goes up.
Can I
Sorry, go ahead.
search to see if there's a secret passage? Like, maybe this is just here for idiots?
You don't really. I mean, you can make a search, like an investigation check, but your take on this is that this is the secret passage, right? Someone has taken an old sewerway and sealed it from other access, so that it has become a secret passage from one spot to another. You're not sure where the other end is, but partway along it goes to the fighting school, and then it comes here to wherever this is.
Alright, another idea. Give me 1 second. I'm just double checking spells. Is this okay?
Yep.
Um,
I will say that the top of the ladder ends at like some kind of flat wooden surface, so there's probably a secret trap door or something.
okay. Well, I'll check for the trap door.
Yeah, I mean, you can easily find that there's a trap door. I just assumed you didn't necessarily want to burst out of it yet. What are you looking to do?
I can use my A once a day X-ray vision to peek through it, but I won't be able to do it again today. Do you think that's worth it?
Yeah, could be.
All right, I turn on my googly eyes.
Okay, this is indeed a trapdoor of in the floor of a room, and the room looks like a barracks. There's a number of like bunks and chests and stuff. It appears to be currently empty, and it has a huge sort of open doorway. Like there's no door in it, just an open frame into a hall. And you imagine that there are maybe other stuff out that hall. It looks familiar, though. The layout and style of this room is familiar to you. Roll me an intelligence check.
So history wouldn't help me here.
And not really. It's more like remembering something you've seen before. DC 12, though.
14.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you realize, you kind of think about the layout of the city, and you realize this is the fighting pits. This is the garrisons built into the arena, and it suddenly makes perfect sense that the your cousin's fighting school would have a secret way to get to and from the gladiator pits.
I believe we are in the fighting pit. I wonder if we can join up with the others when they arrive, and I'll send a little message saying we found our way to the fighting pits via new secret passage.
And I
fast travel
will
unlocked.
We are
jump
on
back
our
to the other
way.
group. So the rest of you have been sneaking through the streets of the city. No one has come close to rolling over 30 to spot you, so you have very successfully, there's lots of like Blues Brothers moments where you're like just sort of like walking in unison to the Peter Gunn theme, and otherwise ducking behind stuff like in the Flintstones that couldn't possibly fit you behind it, but you change your
Yep.
shape so that you fit, and all that sort of thing. As you duck and dodge the various larger than normal amounts of patrols, including weasel patrols, and you make your way to the stadium, and you find that it is in fact well guarded. The huge gates at either end that are open to let the public flow through, that also open to the sides into the actual bleachers, are they don't have gates because they're big enough to like drive a cart through, but they do have a bunch of barricades thrown up and some guards standing around, just generally keeping watch.
Well, that doesn't look good. I don't know that we're going to be able to get
No.
in there, you guys.
Oh, something else that you notice on your way there, because from here, from near the plaza where the Erie, which is, you'll remember the name of
Yeah.
the fighting pit, as you get near that plaza, you can actually see down towards below the cliffs and the harbor of the city. Remember, you could see it before when you guys were your very first match out here, when the mimics were attacking you, and you notice that the last time you had this view, there was a huge number of ships because there was a lot of dignitaries that were here for the ball that was thrown at the Citadel, and you immediately notice that Captain Ulf's ship, the Loxodon ship, is gone. The Elven ships that were here, the 2 Elven ships with dignitaries from the south, are gone. Captain Darius's enormous, crazy steampunk ship is gone, and a lot of the general merchant traffic is not present. There, the local boats like fishing boats and stuff are still here, but there are also a couple of huge galley ships, like troop ships, that you do not recognize, that are flying the colors of House Langarian, that are here.
So after everything went wrong at the ball, basically everyone who could got out of town.
Seems that
That's
way.
what it looks like. Okay, well, it doesn't seem good, y'all. I don't know what to do. We should maybe go find Tromlin and Pernie?
Yeah.
Guys, where are you?
And then conveniently, you get a message back saying, "We just found a secret passage from the conservatory to the lounge.
Nice.
I mean, from the fighting school to the gladiator pits."
I mean, we're in an alley across the
the
street, and
lounge
there's
at the
like
fighter.
lots of guards out here. So I don't know that we can get to you.
All right, well then.
Can we
let's
meet you?
We're on the inside, so maybe it's better if we just meet back at the Quaggle camp.
I would like to point out
we should.
that a short ways north of the gladiator pits is that one location of one of the stones that's not one of the watchtowers.
Ooh, why don't we meet there?
Okay.
Yes,
You-
let's go have it.
You realize that you basically went right under it when you went through the secret passage.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's meet up there. I mean, with Fetid guiding us, no one would be able to find.
That
We
is
should
the
all-
hope.
Yeah,
we should all
exactly.
have that benefit.
I will happily hand wave that process because I rolled to see if anybody heard Agrajag, but nobody did. So you guys can easily make your way back to the school and just come out the way you came in. And then come down and meet these other guys who are sneaking like champions and can come. In fact, they could just come to the school and meet you there, and then gather the whole group to go the few
Let's do
blocks
it.
south to where you where this place is. I'll get stealth rolls from Tromlin and Copernicus just to match
Also,
up with
while
the
you're
group.
making those rolls, and this is not relevant to now, but what does your disguise tattoo look like, Tromlin?
I don't know
Yeah,
if
what
I
are you
can ever
doing right
get,
now?
like, I need to figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
but
assuming
yeah.
you're gonna hide your face. Makes good sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was just gonna draw it, which is why I
Oh.
asked. But it's also a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I will obviously change my face, but I also have the cloak on, don't I?
Yes, you have an
Velvet
elven
type?
cloak, so you have advantage on your stealth
Yeah.
rolls.
I hit
Thank
And I'm
four.
happy to give you guys Fetid's
Pass without
pass
trace.
without trace bonus because
Just to
he'll
make
be
it easier.
continuing it.
It's true.
Yeah, but like
So
he's
That gets me a 40.
Ooh.
that's pretty good.
The sheer mileage we get out of that spell. It's pretty good.
It's one of those all or nothing spells. It's like either you have it
Mhm.
and you're invisible, or you don't and you're just there. Everyone can see you.
Hmm
32.
I mean, it's not full on invisible, right? Like it
No, it's just you're very
fact,
very
played properly.
stealthy.
32.
So cool.
Okay. So at this stage, I'd like to start the poll and run it until break here. So
Well, we'll get out into
I
the
would like the
chat.
players to step away from the chat room. And as always, to the chat, I will let y'all know that this poll is going to run for 10 minutes. Please do vote in the poll. I would like to know what I'm going to do with this. The poll is now running. If you can't see the poll, you may need to refresh the chat. Please do
And-
vote early, vote often, and
for
we'll
my
see where we land
and for my party
on
members,
this poll. But I can also reveal that this poll will be enacted this game.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Love to hear
and,
that.
and for my
Mhm.
party members,
Nothing bad
I
has
have
ever come of that.
a work in progress
Mm-hmm.
in the general.
Ooh.
Imagine there's a skateboard there.
I gotta come see.
Okay. So, um,
Nice.
you all have rolled spectacularly on
Nice.
stealth. I think 31 or 32 is still the lowest.
I think so.
So I'm rolling here, but I don't even know why I'm rolling, because even if I nat 20, there's no critical on perception. I might, if somebody rolls a nat 20, I might give them like you thought you heard something and no more. But you easily make your way without running into the patrols. But of course, now you very clearly, Copernicus and Tromlin, also get a glimpse of the patrols running around the streets. These large numbers of soldiers that are a mixture of Langarian and Boltree troops.
Tomlin is done, and it's the coolest anyone has ever looked carrying a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
That is a
Oh, of course, because it was the
Yeah.
the Gartar pose.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's got a
Very
monkey.
nice.
Yay.
Oh yeah, keep those votes coming. Now it's getting exciting. Still a lot of options. Okay.
I have
And
trauma from the last time you guys polled.
Yeah.
sometimes
last
it's
time
good.
the last time was
Sometimes
when
it's
Tromlin
bad.
got a cool dragon face.
Yeah, last time it was deciding which head Tromlin was going to have for a while, whether it was a raven, a lion, or a dragon.
Always pick dragon.
The dragon could have been interesting, or the raven could have been interesting, but
Yeah.
Caw, motherfuckers.
How better to
Here for your
infiltrate the raven cult?
prize.
Be like, I'm one of yours. Let me in.
Yeah.
Hello, fellow crows. Take order of my
Corvids
back.
in the house. Corvids in
hello,
the house.
fellow raven folk. I am a servant of Graculus like you. So you make your way without too much difficulty, seeing all these things going on in the streets. You make your way to the location where, according to Copernicus's information, there should be one of the 5 points of the star that was centered around the citadel. Unlike the other 4, which are all within the curtain wall in specific watchtowers, this particular point is at some kind of large warehouse-looking building. And Tromlin, you realize that this is a prominent guild hall.
Ooh.
This is the front for
thieves.
for the Thieves Guild.
That's good.
Hmm.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness!
Ready to
I like when we have like
thieves.
over 100 votes and we're only not even halfway in.
Well, on one hand, we could go in. On the other hand, it's probably a horrible idea.
But we
I
can
could maybe do some
sneak.
beast sense and send Filth in to do some recon,
That's a great idea.
see what we're dealing with.
That is a better idea. Because any of us going in, I mean, it's us
gonna be a
going
problem.
into a thieves guild.
Yeah.
These are people who are trained in the spot.
I just got done owing a different thieves guild a lot of money.
Yes.
So
Well, they don't want your money; they want your head type.
Am I able to like sense the presence of a big magical like arcane locus here? just based on like having
Hmm.
detect magic going and it being a very powerful point. I figure out what
Yeah,
we're-
it's rough because detect magic isn't going to help you if you can't get a line of sight on it.
I can't
So
just
this would
vibe
be a
it.
good
I
time.
can't just feel the vibes in the air. Like, ooh.
Yeah,
I'm
you
wondering if I
definitely
have-
will feel. I would say you will feel the vibes in the air.
I was wondering if I have any contacts in the Thieves Guild. There's got to be some overlap. That's almost a complete circle, you know? Like I'm on the sliver outside of that circle.
You
It's
definitely
interesting.
know. So the when we discussed the sort of the clientele of the sex cult, it's a lot more uh middle classy. It's a lot more uh people you would think are the fully respectable types.
Respectable
But there is definitely overlap because the upper echelons of the Thieves Guild are people who present as merchants.
So I'm
So
wondering if I
I would say you would have contacts that you might suspect having ties to organized crime, but you wouldn't know. You would be like, that one merchant who, everybody is always very, very deferential to, has got to have some fingers in a cookie jar of some kind, but I don't know
Fingers in
specifically.
something.
I mean,
I
that goes
kind of
without
want to
saying.
I kind of just want to like if there's a door to approach, you know, not be hiding from authorities, but if there are people watching that door,
Well,
if they're seeing
Tromlin,
me, or
so between Tromlin and Fetid, Fetid knows the under dark ways here. So if there's a way to sneak into the building, Fetid can find it. And Tromlin is familiar with this location. He would have some knowledge of, what, whether there's like, where you go to like sneak into the warehouse without attracting undue attention. And for example, there's no like major patrol wandering by here or like guards standing guard because this is still a front. It looks like it's just a warehouse. You're in an area of town
My-
where there's like nothing but like stables and stockyards, and
My
there's this
appro-
one stone building with a barn
I-
like on one end.
I'm picturing like an underground spy movie where like the person knows where the warehouse is, they don't know how to get in or like the protocols, so they just show up to where they know they would be seen by the people surveying and being like, "Hey, I'm at your
Hey, I'm
front
here.
door." You know,
Hey, I'm here.
look at the camera real cheeky like, you know.
I think that is
That's
the
what I was
coolest
thinking.
way to do this, but I worry that it will draw too much of the wrong kind of attention.
Yeah, right now we're just sending a swarm in, right? You go get like
I was
rats to
just
scout or
gonna
something.
send filth to scuttle through a drainage pipe or something.
Cool.
Yep.
I
Or
just
you
worry
can even
about
just send like a rat or something. Like you can maybe
Yeah,
get
whatever's handy.
something that won't attract attention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's a rat in a warehouse.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
We're in
Yep.
the last minute of the poll, everyone, so you're almost out of time. I see a clear leader, but there's still anybody's game.
Oh.
Okay. So
Maybe when we
you
locate it, if you want to be the like if you want to do like a big distraction thing where you show up on the front door, and they start trying to figure out who you are and like there's any questions, we could like use that as the like launch point for the strike on wherever the statue is.
So an option,
Well-
yes.
Oh, and then you could dimension door past them and like into where we are, and then
Ooh.
they're all out on the street with their dicks in their hands.
here we
while
go. Here we go.
smash that statue.
Almost over.
I was just
Few
thinking that,
last
like,
seconds ticking down.
I'd make sure I'm visible to the people I know will be monitoring the area,
Bam.
and I can kind of dip down an
Thank
alley
you.
after that. That's like out of sight, and then they can follow there, and we can be there in that alleyway,
To go
in case
smash
in case they are aggro.
stuff
But
up. Yeah,
otherwise, we're
yeah.
like, you know,
Is
Okay,
the
so
chat safe? Safe to go back and chat?
just about we're pushing
Alright.
up the chat.
I'm going to wait
Looks
a
like we did
little
it.
bit. Alright. I'm back. Wah.
Chat.
I'm going to throw my phone on the floor. How about?
Don't do that.
Randy, I'm drawing
Okay,
Trompton as Jack
so
Black doing a kickflip. I hope you.
Amazing.
all is safe to go back.
Amazing.
All is safe for y'all to go back into ye oldie chat. So, the what was the decision making there? So you guys, or sorry, you're sending in Fedid's rat
Yeah,
first.
we'll do scouting first, and then
Right.
we'll decision make.
So you can easily sort of find yourself a nice spot to kind of hole up and hide while Fetid zones out and takes over the senses of a rat and scuttles off to get into the building from below. So the first thing that you are able to discover, Fetid, fairly quickly, is that there are not a lot of good ways up from the sewers into this building. A number of what would have previously been good ways to sneak in have been found and closed up. And the
Suppose that
one
shouldn't be
main,
surprised.
yeah, there's a one major way in from below that is being guarded by some weasels.
Okay.
Ooh.
That said, a rat can certainly do it, so no big deal. Once you get into the warehouse, it is very quickly, obviously, big time, a a front because the warehouse itself, although it does have like a lot of like open space for crates and stuff, also has a big open space with like tables, a big meeting table in the center, and quite a number of people hanging around. There are a couple of guardsmen, but just a couple. Most of the people here look like citizens of various levels of skeeviness, and a few people who look like proper merchants. You, in your investigations in the sewerway below, are pretty confident that the group of weasels guarding the passage are probably bringing people in and out. It looks to you like the actual doors to the warehouse, because on one end of the warehouse it's like a big wooden barn with a huge door that's closed and chained, but it also looks to you like it hasn't been opened in a while. At the other end, there's a couple of like normal side doors into like alleys and stuff, and they look like they may have been used more recently, but no, but they're barred right now. So you suspect that the way that people are coming and going is they're taking advantage of their allies in the Underdark. Oh, thank you very much, J Payne. That's an excellent
Oh wow!
chunk of
Dang.
change. Some
That
bits.
is so
That's
many
going to roll
bits.
up.
That's
That's
gonna do
going to
that
give some
twice.
people some inspo.
Inspo.
Thank you for being
Thank
a
you.
friend.
Excellent. Since you guys are already pretty, that's going to roll over a couple. So you're just going
Yeah.
to fill your inspiration trees, but I'm also going to take that into account with the further events of
Ooh. Our
the
luck is
game
gonna go
here.
our way, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I think it may have something to do with those crystal vials you still haven't identified.
Oh yeah, we should identify those sometime.
I think I might
Maybe.
swing the rolls. I'll reveal that I was going to do random potion generator rolls because I've got some cool
Oh, I love those. I
tables.
do like that.
But I may skew the rolls now
That went so well for me in another game.
in your favor. So, yes. So you're checking out this place. You've determined that the Thieves Guild folks are coming and going largely through the underground with these weasels leading the way. From the main building. There's like some sleeping quarters in the back and like some crash bay. It's a very clearly a front for the Thieves Guild. They can sneak people into the city and hide them here. They can move goods through the warehouse. But in addition, there is a second story to the back part of the building that's stone, not to the front wooden part that's just one big open space, but there's a second story in the back, partially hidden by the barn like front area. And that second story is reached by a stone stairwell. And when you sneak your way up that stairwell, you find a locked, heavy oaken door that you can squeeze underneath. And when you do so, you find a sealed chamber that has a circle of statues with a plinth in the center and a strange glowing pink eerie stone hovering above the plinth, exactly
previous one.
as you encountered in the guardhouse at the north edge of the city.
Are there any windows into the stairwell, or just windows overall?
So there are no windows into that upstairs chamber. There are windows into various parts of the warehouse. The back areas of the warehouse, you can kind of, because you can also, I'm just going to sort of extend your investigation here because you can check out inside and out and so forth. You'll realize that the back end of this building actually is up against the back of a different stone building, but in reality, it extends into that other space. And so there's a shared in between building that is actually just a passageway into the back of an inn. So, about like a block away or so, there's this small tavern, probably better said than an inn, like a drinking house. But that drinking house backs onto like a building that just looks like it's someone's home, like the owner of the drinking house. But that, in turn, backs onto part of this warehouse. So there's basically a secret area in between where there are no windows, where people can be housed and like live away from anything, but they can get into either the inn on the one side, the tavern on the one side, or the warehouse on the other side. So the tavern has windows, and the little sort of legit quote unquote office section of the warehouse has a little, thatched porch and some windows. And that's basically it. Other than that, there are the barred doors into the warehouse, the big doors into the warehouse that are chained tight and haven't been opened in forever, the underground tunnel in, and then the tavern entrance.
So my
And
vote
those
is
are
to
all the
try to
ways in.
sneak in through the tavern, or honestly, I think the giant door that they never use, they just think of as a wall at this point. We honestly might be able to just open it and sneak through because they're just not used to anything coming or going that way.
It is really visible though.
Yeah.
Like
They are
opening
very
that door is hard to do without it being
Sneakily.
noticed.
Okay. Well,
I
I
can-
think
Maybe
the
an
tavern
illusion
way.
or something could do
I
that.
can-
But
Yeah, we could just
We
go in
can
there for a
cantrip
drink
thaumaturgy
and then
whatever.
Yeah. Just for
Yeah.
a drink. One by
And
one,
no
we
one will
all have
notice
to
us.
keep the
Saying
rest.
hi.
Or I can I get us do the windows in the tavern go anywhere near where the secret entrance would be as far as we know?
not really. So the tavern, at the back of the tavern is like kitchens. Like again, Fetid, I'm just going to give you all this because Fetid as a rat can kind of go into all the different parts
Yeah.
of this building. And as long as he's concentrating on a pass without trace, I'm not even going to try and write or roll for someone to notice a rat.
Rat plus stealth plus.
Yeah.
So, the tavern is basically a big open common area with a giant hearth, at the back of which is the bar basically, and behind which are all of the kegs. It's less a tavern and more an alehouse, I think is probably the best way to describe it, but same idea, a drinking establishment. There are no like real like rooms or anything like that. But behind the bar and all of the kegs, there is an entryway on either end that goes into the kitchens. And through the kitchens and storage space, it connects to what it looks like it's just going into a little storage room that might have previously been a stable at some point, but that is in fact actually just connected to the stone walls of the warehouse.
Okay.
So effectively, people who go behind the bar area into the kitchen can then slip all the way into the.
Like you would do if it was a good front for the Thieves Guild.
Yes. There is a crowd in the ale house. It's not a huge crowd because it's early-ish in the day still. It's not even, it's maybe noon, like midday by now.
Morgan and Tromlin, do you think you could bluff us some access to the back area in there?
I can try.
Uh,
Sweet talk some people.
Either way, I want to disguise self as a elderly satyr woman with a gruff voice, some gnarly knotted horns, and I'm like leaning into how short I am now compared to before. I've got a oversized dress and cloak situation, large back.
So you're talking disguise self?
Oh yeah, disguise self
Spell?
and
Okay.
whatever skills I can hop onto that.
Nice.
Well, Tromlin has actual disguise kit for like
Yeah, I
physical
might need
disguising,
some help
but
with
magic
that.
is a different.
I can.
Because
I'll help.
Oogna is well known in this town.
I will start disguising people.
Perfect.
Thank you.
What do I need to roll
Okay,
for that?
well, so that is it's tool use. You're using your disguise kit. It's going to be wisdom based. So you're rolling wisdom and proficiency bonus because you do have proficiency with your disguise kit.
So 7 total? Like plus 7?
Yes, that is a 7. Yeah.
I would like to use an inspiration.
We got lots of them.
Good, because I rolled a 2 plus
Ooh,
what did I
boy.
get, 9.
2 plus 7 is 9. It's not great.
That, however, is a 24.
Nice.
Excellent. And does anyone want to goose that? Because you have several options.
Couldn't hurt in the situation we're in.
Morgan could be guidancing those
Oh,
rolls,
yeah.
or Copernicus can be dipping
I
into
will-
his historical knowledge of what
I'll definitely guide him.
Oh, yeah.
elderly
I'll-
satyrs look like.
I'll provide a historian bonus if I can. Let me just roll to find out if I
Yeah,
do.
you might as well, just because Tromlin's going to have to make several rolls here because each person being disguised is a separate roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so-
hoping my disguise self will help with one of them. And then guidance and help do makeovers.
So if you're using disguise self, do you want to bother with a physical disguise as well, or you just want to rely on the illusion?
I can rely on the illusion, but
So that first roll can be for Oogna then.
Okay.
Perfect.
And you get +3 from me helping as a historian.
Okay, so that pushes that up from Oogna's what was it, 24 is now like a 27.
Yeah.
Plus a D4 for guidance.
That's useful because I'm very distinctive looking, so now I'm just
Who's
another
next?
orcish person.
I'll go next.
Okay. Are you goosing this, by the way, for Afghan?
Yeah,
I
we'll
failed
assume
to
everybody
use
is.
I failed to
Okay.
use it.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
no
We had a
bonus
chat
from
request
historian,
for
but do the D4. Do the D4 for guidance.
Pico the Barbarian.
Oh my god. I love him.
Pico the
He's
barbarian. Oh
just
my
a little
goodness.
guy.
beautiful. Beautiful.
He's just a little
Well, I got a
dude.
dirty 20 on that one.
What was that? A dirty 20?
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that with the D4 for guidance or without?
Without, so it'll be 24 then.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So add another D4 to that roll, please.
20 plus 23.
Nice. And I'm assuming you're not doing fetid, or are you gonna bother trying to disguise fetid?
I think
He's
I
pretty
can just
sneaky.
maintain my. I think I might be better off just maintaining my pass without trace on myself and continuing to trust my stealth.
And try to sneak
Because
in.
that way
Yeah,
I can Cuddle up somewhere unnoticed,
Mm-hmm.
at least ideally.
And that leaves yourself, Tromlin. Are you going to physically disguise or just use your tattoo?
Can I try to do both?
You certainly can.
Because I want
Yeah,
to
it's
have
not
a
like
fail safe in case
Yep.
someone sees past the illusion.
I was gonna ask
And
you
in
that
fact,
too, actually.
you can actually do a fairly easy, because you are currently having pseudo dragonborn features. You could pretty easily lean into that and just give yourself a full dragonborn disguise,
All right.
and then throw an illusion over top of it
You get a
of
plus
potentially
3
just a
from me.
different dragonborn.
You get a +3 goosing for me, and I hear that Morgan would like a disguise as well. A disguise on her disguise.
Cool.
All right. Let me do mine first, real fast.
And then
You can say the
Copernicus,
plus.
you might as well roll the other bonus for Morgan.
Sure.
What do we got
So
for
23
Morgan's roll there,
for me.
Tromlin?
23 for me.
Or for yourself, sorry. So 23 for yourself, that's with the guidance?
Yep.
Okay. And then for Morgan.
And
All
you get
right.
a +3 from me. The goose went off without a hitch.
Another 27.
Nice. Okay. So everyone is like above 20 here on disguises. All right. So you spend some time hiding yourselves away and doing these disguises. After Fetid comes back and reports to y'all, I presume that you're going to find a spot to leave Ollie and Trey and not bring them in with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
they
are
are
going to be
also
more
distinctive.
recognizable than you.
Yeah.
And you can, even if you want to, leave Filth to watch over them, and then if anything goes wrong, you can be pinged.
Okay.
Mhm.
Since you can communicate with Filth as long as he's within 100,
Mhm.
100 feet.
Just
Okay.
hardcore animal companions.
Yeah.
Good time for a break. And then we will resume
All
with
right.
the infiltration of the Thieves Guild.
We will see
Sounds
all
good.
in a few.
Excellent.